To speak now or later?
Madam Speaker, I wish to debate right now.
The Honourable Member for Kamfinsa.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me first of all to put on record my appreciation of your office for allowing this proposal to be debated today. And Madam Speaker, the people of Kamfinsa constituency join the people of Unkana in supporting the proposal. The proposal, Madam Speaker, that we urge government, Madam Speaker, to facilitate the monetization of social media in Zambia. That is what the proposal is saying, Madam Speaker. Our proposal is that we want government to facilitate. How government is going to facilitate, Madam Speaker, I'm confident that with the government ministries and the officials that we have, that will remain their responsibility. Madam Speaker, from the onset, allow me once again to indicate that Zambia currently has got a recorded gross domestic product of close to $28 billion. Now, Madam Speaker, there's a reason I'm mentioning some of these very, very important figures. The ICT sector, to which this issue belongs, the issue of monetization of social media, Madam Speaker, which is an issue under the ICT sector. We need to ask ourselves before we venture into this debate, how much is the ICT sector, Madam Speaker, contributing to our revenue as a country? How much is the ICT sector, Madam Speaker, contributing to that $28 billion, which is supposed to be our gross domestic product? According to the 8th National Development Plan and the reports that we have at the Ministry of Finance, Madam Speaker, last year the ICT sector only contributed 2.6% towards our GDP. Now, there's a reason why the ICT sector, Madam Speaker, is not contributing enough. And one of the reasons, Madam Speaker, is that we have this opportunity of monetizing social media, which obviously will earn revenue for government, which will also revenue for our people, which we are yet to explore. And Madam Speaker, it is also important to be reminded as we discuss this very, very important topic. Out of 20 million Zambians, Madam Speaker, only 156 members of parliament get elected. We have a great responsibility, Madam Speaker, as I stand here, all of us as we debate our various issues that we bring to parliament, to be able to listen to those who are not able to come to parliament. Is everyone able to come and speak in this August House, Madam Speaker? They speak through the elected members of parliament. And the people out there, Madam Speaker, the feedback that we are getting on this particular topic is that why should we create content on social media and yet we don't derive any revenue from that content? Madam Speaker, let me simplify this motion for purposes of this debate. You are aware, Madam Speaker, that Facebook will not have any value if there's no content on Facebook providing that content. Our young people are asking, Madam Speaker, why should Ghana, a country in West Africa, have a policies and a platform which allows young people to make money from the content that they post? The young people are giving us one responsibility today, Madam Speaker, the responsibility to speak to government, to ask them to do only one simple thing, Madam Speaker, to facilitate. Because we know young people are not asking for money from the Ministry of Finance. Young people are simply saying, in countries where monetization of social media has happened, they've only done one simple thing. Government has engaged Facebook, government has engaged TikTok, government has literally engaged anyone who has a social media platform. And they've simply said, look, why should a young person buy his own phone, buy his own data, and be able to download applications, open an account on social media, Madam Speaker, and yet they are not paid for the content that people have to utilize to visit a website or a social media platform? The message from our young people, Madam Speaker, a very simple message, is that if government is able to facilitate, if the laws of Zambia currently are not adequate, if the laws need to be revised, if there's a statutory instrument, Madam Speaker, that needs to be issued, if there's a meeting that has to take place with the owners of the social media platforms, the young people who gave us this mandate are asking us to do one thing, speak to government. Christopher Kangombe is not in the executive arm of government. It is the people that are in the executive arm of government, Madam Speaker, that have to pick up this conversation. The conversation that there is no value in having a platform called Facebook without content. Who provides that content, Madam Speaker? It is our young people. Our young people who spend the whole morning, whole afternoon, trying to provide content to make social media relevant. And that is what the Honorable Member of Parliament for Nkana is saying. The MP who has proposed this motion is only asking for one thing. Can government facilitate? And I'm very certain that the wording for this motion, Madam Speaker, was very correct. We are not saying from this meeting, tomorrow people will start getting money from social media. We are saying government should now facilitate. A process has to take place, Madam Speaker, and I will be a very proud member of Parliament if we are able to get young people to start making money out of social media. 3% of GDP, Madam Speaker, is the ICT sector. This August House has an opportunity today to get that 3% slightly higher. If we do what we are suggesting to do correctly, Madam Speaker, we may create millionaires in Zambia. We have a potential today, Madam Speaker, through this proposal to create millionaires. How do we create millionaires, Madam Speaker? Money has to start moving from the owners of Facebook to our content creators. Money has to start moving, Madam Speaker, from whoever owns TikTok to our young people, because this is happening in other countries. And this is the special appeal I want to make to the executive arm of government. We've brought a proposal today. Is this proposal complicated, Madam Speaker? It's not a complicated proposal. We have countries, Madam Speaker, I want to repeat before I conclude. We have countries that have provided the enabling environment. And that is the task which our government has today. The people of Kamfinsa, Madam Speaker, once again, support the proposal that we urge government to facilitate the monetization of social media in Zambia. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you. The Honorable Member for